What is up, guys, and welcome to the magical month of May. Now, there are two things that happen this time of year, one of which being the Monaco Grand Prix, the second being the Indy 500. But we're not here to talk about the American oval racing. We're here to talk about the pinnacle, the jewel in the crown of Formula One, the Monaco Grand Prix. Long has it been a favorite of mine, and today we're gonna do a bit of a throwback video to F1 2013. I did a 100% race driving as Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to do the same thing today, except I'm going to give you guys the choice to pick my car. So I put out a little poll on Twitter, and you guys decided that I should drive for the Ferrari. So here we go. We're going to be doing a 100% race around Monaco. We're going to start from last place on the grid, and we're going to see if we can win this race. So let's get right into it. If you want to see a online version of this, which would probably be much crazier, much more ridiculous, let me know down in the comments, and I will get 19 other sim races together and we'll go at it. But it's time for this video. No assists, simulation damage, hardest AI difficulty. Just thought I'd clarify all of those things. This will be the ultimate challenge. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into this video. 100% race around Monaco, 78 laps of torture.
Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session.
Okay, so just a bit of a warning to anyone who ever tries to do a challenge like this. You can't really jump into a 100% race at Monaco cold. You kind of need to warm up to the fact that you're about to commit a lot of your time and effort towards a race. So I thought it's probably for the best if I just do a few cycle laps in practice. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not doing qualifying. I'm starting last because if you played the F1 games, you probably know that the AI are easy, well, not easy to manipulate, but they're a bit slow here compared to other tracks, and conversely, I'm really strong here, so it results in some interesting races here, especially in a lower down car, if you would have seen some of my older career mode videos. But yeah, since we're in a Ferrari, we have a really, really strong chance of winning this Grand Prix, even though we're starting from last, which is pretty outrageous, the fact that I'm saying that, but if you've played the Codemasters games before, you'll know exactly why. Also as well, 50% races tend to be a little bit how are you going with strategy. There's a bit of a flaw, but with a 100% race, I feel like it might be a different case. But anyway, we ended up first in practice, confirmed the pace that I had, and I don't have anything left to say. Let's go to the race.
We've been welcomed with open arms once again to this, the most famous event of them all. The anticipation is rising as we get ready for racing here at the Monaco Grand Prix. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Hülkenberg, Sainz, Perez, Magnussen and Roman Grosjean, Ocon, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso,
Embarrassing, really embarrassing.
Hartley, Marcus Ericsson and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Kimi Raikkonen rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
That is definitely the case for me on this first lap. Welcome to the grid of the Monaco Grand Prix. We have some rain here today, but interestingly, we're starting and staying on the dry compounded tyre. That's going to make this start even more tricky. I might move the tyre compounds around a little bit, but looking at the delta, it's going down by 17 to 35 seconds. So that says to me that the Ultra Soft is the better compound suited to the low grip conditions. That's the only thing I can take away from that. In terms of other things that we're taking away, yes, we're taking out a lot of fuel. Monaco, we want to be running in lean revs a lot, so that's what I'll be intending to do. Saving the engine, making the car lighter and faster through the corners. Pretty simple stuff. If you run in rich too much, you end up wheel spinning, and it's not good for the rear tyres, let me say that much. But anyway, we had Fernando Alonso disqualified from the formation lap, and I was a bit confused. I just thought I'd follow him, and that didn't serve me well, it seemed. I got disqualified from the formation lap for being too slow on a formation lap. Interesting. So now, I don't know what happens. Are we out of the race? Do we not get to start? Are we going to get teleported? Yes, we are going to get teleported to the grid, so that answers that question. And we didn't get to properly warm up our tyres or feel how much grip there was in the circuit. So, man, am I really flying blind into this one. Let's get ready for the start of this race. 78 laps of Monaco. I pray that I actually finish this race and don't get taken out at turn 1. But away we go for the streets of Monaco. It is go time. Very, very cautious start for me here. I'm last anyway, so there's no real point in trying to go for an audacious move up the inside. I know I've got really strong pace. We've got a lot of time. This is going to be like a 2-hour long race. There is plenty of time and opportunities for me to make up positions. Unlike real life. You're about to see how different it is to real life, this Monaco Grand Prix. Already we've made 3 overtakes in the first sector of the race. It's quite ridiculous with the AI, how slow they are. It's literally like a car park when you get to, the Lowe's hairpin. It's quite ridiculous. They call it the Fairmont hairpin, I think. Or they might have even changed the name again at this point. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, we got past the Toro Rossos there. P16. Next up is Ericsson. The man the driver that, can he replace Salva, I guess? Either or. We have a good start. And this is the first of 78 laps, so strap in, get a snack. I said this in the other video, I think. Get another snack and enjoy, because this is going to be quite the tasty race. You're going to see a lot of overtakes from me over the course of this day, and hopefully no mistakes. I like to pride myself on not making mistakes at Monaco. Up the inside of Marcus Ericsson. Don't mind if I do. And I think that's P15 now. So a great start. 5 positions in 1 lap. If we keep that up, we'll be leading by the time that DRS opens. You'd think. No, the maths doesn't add up there, does it? Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good off this start. The track, it is damp, it is raining, very, very lightly, but it's not to the point where we require intermediate tyres. So, probably, I don't know how to describe it. Actually, we're going around the outside of Van Dorn here. Around the outside, thank you very much. That is P14. If it rains just a little bit, just a tiny bit harder, I reckon then it'll be time to switch to intermediate tyres. But having all this experience with the game that I do, I don't think the intermediate tyres will be required in this race. It's a weird thing when the race starts off starts off with light rain and you start on dry tyres. It never really gets heavier to the point where you need inters. So I'm just going to stick it out as long as I can on these ultra soft tyres, and we'll play the strategy by ear. Next up, we've got Charles Leclerc, who should be in the car that I'm in right now. It's really weird seeing Raikkonen at Ferrari, but there you go. 2019 game can't come out soon enough. That's another move up the inside, and that is us up in a P13. It's very rare to get a move done up into to back there. That was a cheeky love tap with the swimming pool chicane barrier. That's how you do it, Max Verstappen. Anyway, lap 4 on the back of Alonso. He's not very fast on the straight. We had to back out there going through the tunnel. Otherwise, that would have resulted in a pretty nasty crash. Like I said, simulation damage is on, so even the lightest touch with the wall will give you damage. And we've got safety cars on, virtual safety cars are on as well. And I'd imagine that we might see a couple of those over the course of this 2 hour or hour and a half long race. However long it's going to be, it might be a bit longer than an hour and a half because it's raining. But anyway, we're making great progress here. Up into P12 now, putting the pressure on Grosjean. Oh, God. That was not fun. And now Alonso has got us back. You love to see it. Let's see if we can get him back up the inside into the Fairmont hairpin. That was very, very cheeky of me, I won't lie. I just decided to do a counter-attacking move and get him back as soon as I possibly could. I don't think he was expecting it, so we managed to just about get that move done. But now back onto Grosjean. Can we go for a move into Razcats? I love doing a little dive bomb into here, but we're not quite close enough on this occasion. So watch out for that over the course of this race. I do want to get a move done there. It is so satisfying when you do that, though. Anyway, around the outside of Grosjean, I seem to have really, really good grip. I've got really good feel in how hard I can push the tyres and how hard I can push the car. And we just seem to be getting that balance right at the moment. Next up is Ocon, and now we're starting to get into the top 10 runners, all of which are on Hypersoft tyres. Now, given that the game told me to go on ultra soft tyres and it's like 30 seconds faster in terms of race time, that says to me that the Hypers probably aren't as well suited to these conditions, so it may be a little bit easier to overtake the top 10 runners. We'll have to wait and see, but Ocon looks pretty slow at this stage. Up the inside. Oh, just got that done. That feels really sketchy when you do an overtake up the inside into the Novo chicane. You always have to worry about that inside barrier and make sure that you don't clip that, otherwise you're going around. But we perfected that pretty well. Magnussen going pretty ballsy on this start-finish straight. We're going round the outside. There was literally millimeters in that between Magnussen and the outside wall. We just threaded the needle there. Threaded the needle. And move up to P9. Commentary is already going out the window, and we've still got a long time to go in this video. Hopefully my voice holds out. But anyway, 70 laps to go. 70 laps. When you're doing a race like this, it's very important not to get grinded down by the fact that there's a very, very long time to go in the race. You've just got to take it lap by lap, and we seem to be doing that at the moment. That's another position up the inside of Sergio and P8. We've got a bit of clear air now. We can focus on our own driving and really unlock the potential of what this car can do. We've been caught up behind the rear wing of another car every single lap, and now this will be the chance to see what we can do by ourselves on our own. Though it is kind of easier to crash in these kind of conditions when you've got no one else in front to show you where to brake, what lines to take. It can be very easy to get caught out and go a little bit too eager into one corner, but I think we're finding the right balance at the moment. That's a purple lap time, 1 minute 21.8. I think the track is very, very slow at this point. I'm pretty slow now, given that massive slide out of the casino square. But yeah, we just about hold on. The track is very slow. I think we're a good 4, 5, 6 seconds slower than what we should be in these at this point in the race with the amount of fuel that we've got on the car. So as soon as it starts drying up, about halfway through the race, hopefully sooner than that, we can see the lap times really get unlocked here in this Monaco Grand Prix. Literally pushing Carlos Sainz there through the final corner. And again, are we going to make another move up the inside? Or is it going to... No, it's not going to be outside. We'd be putting ourselves in the barrier there if we did that. But there we go. That is P7 for us. After Hulkenberg, there is only the front-running cars, which is absolutely amazing. Here we go. Slipstream, no DRS. Round the outside into the Novo chicane. And I think Hulkenberg just clattered into the side of us. I tried to leave him as much space as I humanly could on the inside, but again, he's fallen into that trap of hitting the wall.
We've seen at least 20 minutes of light rain. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters.
Judging by that, I'm going to stay out on the dries. There's no point pitting now for inters, losing a pit stop, and then ending up with probably worse pace. So we'll play it by ear at the moment. Tyres are still in really good condition.
Bottas ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 7.1 seconds. You're gaining by a full second per lap. Good job. They're on old Hypersofts. We think they've got at least 3 more stops.
3 more stops? Is that a joke? 3 more stops at Monaco. For context, in real life Formula 1, they do one stop, and they try and drag out that first stint as long as they humanly can. Now, this is the flaw that I was talking about in 50% races. The AI stop really early. They get caught up behind midfield cars who are on harder compounded tires, and then they get stuck, literally like a roadblock for the rest or a good portion of the race, and whoever is the leader in the midfield on their harder compounded tire or whatever ends up winning the race. It's pretty insane, but the stints are twice as long in a 100% race, so hopefully that cannot be the case, and maybe all these runners now who are at the lead of the Grand Prix can kind of emerge in front of the people in the midfield. That's the strategy. That's the strategy that happens in real life, and I feel like Codemasters need to alter the AI's strategy for this track in particular, so that they can work that into their own strategy, because how it works in the game is the little robots, they do their calculations of what the possibly fastest race time they can possibly get is, and then they go by that, but they don't take into consideration the fact that there's a car in front of you and you can't overtake it. That then ruins your race, so they need to wait for the people behind to pit or for gaps to emerge a long way into the race. But anyway, I've decided to pit myself and drag myself onto the AI's strategy, given the fact that they've got 3 stops to do in this race, and if I just do 1 stop, or even 2, dare I say it, this is going to be a walk in the park in terms of this race, and nobody wants to see that. We want to see a challenge, and I'm going to take it upon myself to overtake every car on track, if I can, on their strategy, playing their rules, their game, and we'll see what we can make of this. We're now on the Hypersoft tyre. We've got Verstappen up next. We go for a dive into Mirabeau. He's still there on the outside, but he actually concedes the position, so that moves us up into P5. Next up is Bottas. Still 61 laps to go. 61 laps. We could have done over half the race on the Ultrasoft tyres if we wanted to, and we probably would have came out in the lead by an absolute mile. Sorry for the burp there. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I want to make this a bit more interesting for myself. I don't care about winning. I want to have a fun race, and if I can, win as well. So we're going to do it this way. Round the outside of Bottas. Thank you very much. P4. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo. There's Ricciardo. I don't know. Lots of people have different pronunciations. Christian Horner has one every single week, considering he was his driver. But anyway, I made a mistake there out of Portier. Clipped the inside barrier with my right rear tyre, and Bottas had a little look into the Nouvelle chicane but didn't quite get that move done, and now you can see I've just hit the wall again, so I'm getting a bit sloppy here. 20 laps into this race, need to clean that up, because we've still got a long way to go, and with simulation damage, I keep banging on about it, but it can be pretty unforgiving, but sometimes, like, contact like that seems to be going unnoticed by the damage model, which is interesting. But anyway, we're going purple on this lap. We're catching up to Ricciardo. We're going purple. The engineer is asking me for a strategy change. He wants me to come in. It's all kicking off here in this Monaco Grand Prix, and still the rain persists. I wish it would just bugger off so we could push flat out. Do we want to take that strategy? Sure, let's take that strategy, because if I'm getting the alternate strategy change, then the AI must be getting it too, so we'll stick to that. Why not? Ricardo's up next. You probably would have noticed that we're catching up to Hamilton as well in second. Sebastian Vettel leads the race. He's going through the swimming pool chicane at the moment. Nearly. Nearly could have gone for that move on Ricciardo, but that would have been dicey. So we'll just wait for a better opportunity to present itself. Still 50 laps to go. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm actually fuel saving now. You would have noticed that I lifted and coasted massively. I'll do it here as well. That's just to save even more fuel than what I can at the moment, because at the moment I'm 4 laps down, 4.5 laps down.
Sebastian is in P1. Sebastian sat in P1. Gap to teammate ahead is 7.1 seconds.
Just getting an update on my teammate. Yeah, 4.5 laps down of fuel. So if we press on at the rate we're at, we're going to run out of fuel on like lap 73. So we do need to look after that a little bit. The fuel burn is actually a little bit higher than what I was anticipating. I thought it would be a little bit easier in these conditions to save fuel, but it's not quite been the case. So I'm going to take this opportunity at this point in the Grand Prix to, you know, save even more fuel. I'll be short shifting up early. I'll be lifting and coasting a little bit. Looks like I'm following Ricciardo in. And we're going to be diving in for another set of Hypersoft tyres. This strategy is absolutely whack. Absolutely stupid. If it were up to me, I'd be doing ultra soft tyres to like lap 45-ish, 50, and then going hypers to the end, I think. Or maybe 2 sets of ultras if they're mega fast. But yeah, I'm deciding to save fuel at this point because the leaders aren't really getting away. They're only less than 10 seconds up the road. And while I'm in the slipstream of Ricciardo, he's running at a good pace himself. I'm not getting held up really, so I thought I'd just save fuel now while it's convenient. Everyone is banging in some personal bests here. And this is actually my lap coming out of the pit lane. We set a personal best coming out of the pit lane. So that's just an indication as to how much the track has just improved in the last 2 minutes. We're now doing personal best out of the pit lane. That's insane. And that gave me the bit of a hurry up to get past Ricciardo.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh my goodness, that was close to wiping us out of the Grand Prix. Yeah, with the new tyres going on, I thought, yeah, let's get a move on here and let's see if we can get past this guy. I've been behind Ricciardo for many, many laps now. I just thought I'd get on with it a little bit. Possibly force the issue in an area where it was probably a little bit risky, but I thought I could get the move done up the inside anyway into Casino Square, but obviously not. I'll learn from that. But now Ricciardo really flexing the muscles. That was a fastest lap of the race last time out from him, and now we're going to respond, I suppose, with our own fastest lap on this occasion. Hopefully it doesn't hold us up too much, and we might be able to get that. We might even go for a move here on this start-finish straight if we can. Up into overtake, rich fuel mixture. We're going full send here, round the outside. Yes, we do. Round the outside into turn 1. That is just like the move on Magnussen, just millimeter perfect with the barrier and Ricciardo on my inside. Bloody hell. Stressful. We're now in the podium positions, and we're closing in on the race leaders, who I think are coming up to some lap traffic. Yellow flag up ahead. I wonder if that's a slow car getting out of the way. No, it's Vettel and Hamilton. They've collided at the Novo chicane. I think Vettel might be out of the race. Let's get confirmation of that. Held up by the Sauber. He parks it on the apex, and Hamilton has just completely wiped out our race leader. Oh my goodness. Here's the onboard from Hamilton. He just steams into the side of him. Like he's not even there. I don't know what to say. That is absolutely ridiculous. He's lost a bit of his front wing. The guys behind me are all getting tangled up with each other as well, and a bit of a domino effect. Ricciardo got some damage. I think Bottas got some damage, and now Verstappen has run into the back of Bottas. So just one small incident like that has wiped out the entire front-running pack. Everyone in the top 3 teams is affected apart from myself. Now, if that isn't handing me a win on a platter, I do not know what is. Wow. Hamilton leads this race. He's still sticking it out here on his old tyres, on his damaged front wing. Possibly trying to stretch it to get to a pit window or something like that. We're trying to force the move around the outside at Raskas. That's not going to work. But wow, what a turn of events. No safety car either, despite 5, 6 cars inadvertently getting damage from the lap car incident. And we have to press on. Life goes on in this Monaco Grand Prix. Here you can see, I don't know, just a yo-yo effect of where I was strong up against Hamilton. He's still out there with damage. If anything, he was actually struggling more in the low-speed corners, despite having, front wing damage, which, you know, you'd think would affect you more in the high speed, but it wasn't really the case, which was interesting. But anyway, we need to get past this guy. He might be stopping this lap, maybe, but if not, we're going to have to force an overtake very, very soon. Round the outside of Raskas. I said this couldn't be done. Looks like I'm about to prove myself wrong here. Wow. Lead of the Grand Prix. Just as easy as that. And now I think Ricciardo is looking to follow him through. I'm not too sure if Ricciardo has damage. By the looks of it, his pace is really strong, but I was almost certain that he ran into the back of me in that incident with Vettel and Hamilton. But who bloody knows at this point? 37 laps to go in this Monaco Grand Prix. The win is looking pretty certain now. The gap to Hamilton is 4 seconds. He was holding up Ricciardo with his damage. There's still one more stop to go for everyone involved. And now at this point, I'm thinking maybe I should make this a little bit interesting for myself. And see if I can stretch these tyres as far as I humanly can. Ricciardo just made a stop. The gap is now 24 seconds. I'm going to stretch these tyres an extra 10 or so laps and see if I can stretch the hypersofts to the end and then try and chase down Ricciardo to win the race. I don't know. I just thought I'd do something a little bit different. If I pit now for the ultra soft tyres or pitted when Ricciardo did, it would have been an easy race win. So I thought I'd challenge myself and let Ricciardo catch up to me again. You can see I've been stretching it out a really long time on these hypersoft tyres. They're absolutely dead at this point. It's like Formula Drift at this stage. 70% on the right rear tyre, which is what you love to see. And the gap is rapidly coming down. I think the gap is like 3 or 4 seconds now. So in a space of 10 laps, I have lost 20 seconds and I'm now a pit stop behind Ricciardo. But I think enough's enough. We're going to come into the pits now and we're going to try and chase down Daniel Ricciardo to win the Monaco Grand Prix on a softer compound of tyre. Strap in. I'm going to get the montage going again because you guys like that from the other video. And I'll see you guys at the end.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy. You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident. Alright, so we've been looking at the damage, and we think you should be okay to continue. It'll cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race.
Come on, the full flag. It's just all around the full first, people. Copy, we're on it.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sensational. You deserve that absolutely fully. Well done. Well done.
Oh, man. GG's to Ricciardo. That was an incredible ending to that Monaco Grand Prix. I don't honestly think I could have expressed it better than myself. I don't think I could have expressed that properly with words. I had to chuck that montage in to really show how intense those last few laps were. I gave it absolutely everything to try and catch Daniel Ricciardo, but in the end, the 3-second penalty was the undoing of it all. Yeah, the 3-second time penalty. One thing that you probably didn't really know was the hypersoft tires were really starting to go off. They were starting to get really skaty in the rear. And yeah, we got the move. We tried to overtake Ricciardo into turn 1. We got front wing damage there. The pace was really, really bad. And it got to a point where I just had to send it. I had to risk getting damage to overtake him. We damaged our wing further by getting in front of him. And then after I lost that second end plate, I didn't have any more pace. I didn't have any more pace to overtake the lap cars, and they weren't letting me go through. They were getting blue flags, and I was counting on them to let me go through, then hold up Ricciardo, so I could build out a 3-second buffer to him behind. But I couldn't do it. The pace just was not there at the end, and it was the most intense 10 laps trying to get that win. It was a really, really interesting scenario, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was really, really cool. That much better ending than what it was gonna be if I stayed out on a 2-stop strategy or just pitted for ultra soft tires instead of hypers and trying to make this impossible strategy work. But yeah, all for your entertainment. I didn't really... Obviously, I wanted to win the race, but I didn't want to have a boring race at the same time. You can see a lot of penalties for the AI for ignoring blue flags. So they were getting the warnings, they were getting the penalties, they were getting told by their engineers to let me through, but possibly some tactics by other teams. A spiteful Mercedes in Bottas not letting me go through, and obviously Red Bull trying to get in the way with Verstappen. He only let me through at turn 1, and when I did get past Verstappen, it was at a really awkward time, and I didn't get any momentum after that. So that was the Grand Prix, 100% race done of Monaco, 78 laps. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please, if you did like it, leave a like, subscribe for plenty more awesome races to come in the future. F1 2019 is coming out very, very soon. I should hopefully have some gameplay for you very soon. Career modes, online races. I want to do an online version of this month, so keep an eye out for that. And also, like I mentioned at the start of the video, the Indy 500 is this month, so I want to do that on some kind of simulator. But until then, it's goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.